Hello, this is Ian Scales from Telecom TV, and I'm about to interview Atreya Chaganty, who is the Vice President, Business Strategy and Development at Orga Systems. So welcome, Atreya. First of all, let me ask you, what exactly does Orga do?
So Orga Systems is one of the leading providers in the communications industry for real-time rating, charging and billing software. Our primary focus is essentially to provide real-time charging solutions to various categories of communication service providers. We have a fairly well-integrated order-to-cash solution, which is our flagship product for many of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 customers. We have an extensive range of data charging and monetization solutions which address the needs for the enhancement of data charging that's occurring in the industry right around us. We also apply this real-time rating and charging solution and technology areas in various other related industries, and that's a slightly more recent phenomena for us.
So why is this particularly important to the telecoms industry today?
It's really a critical factor that our customers, the CSPs, the MNOs of this industry are able to not only monetize their transactions, so the mobile network operators provide a service for which you have to charge and you have to get paid for, so that's a fundamental aspect of it, but it also has a customer experience angle to it. So how does the MNO or the CSP understand their end customers and leverage that experience in a way that can, in general, be monetized even more? So that's fundamentally why we feel it's really critical for the MNOs to have this capability.
Do you aim the technology at third parties or to telecom operators themselves?
It's a good question because it's a question that addresses the multiple business models that we perceive exist. So for example, the MNOs, the CSPs themselves benefit from these services directly, so they become our target customers, of course, and that's our bread and butter. But at the same time, it also allows us to address the problems that related industries are also facing. The interesting aspect of this is that the MNOs actually deliver these services to the other industry segments, for example, in utilities, and that becomes really interesting for us because suddenly we have expanded the scope of where we can sell and deploy these solutions.
And what other areas can you apply these techniques to that are becoming more important for telecoms operators?
So M2M is a clear and easily addressable area that we target, and I think machine-to-machine is something that the industry has been talking about more recently and more a lot in the recent past. But for us, it's a fundamental aspect of how the industry is going to evolve. Transactions are going to become increasingly ubiquitous between machines, but also between machines and humans. And each of those transactions has a monetization potential. Our job is to apply our technology and our competence to be able to increase the revenue streams that both mobile network operators as well as other service providers can achieve from these transactions by generating revenue and delivering end customer experience.
So mobile wallet and electronic payment, that must be becoming an important area for you as well.
I think the need for having flexible payment systems, whether it is using mobile wallets, as you said, or using any other conventional methods of payment. It could be a traditional bank-based payment, and of course it could be cash payments, it could be a credit card-based payment. For us, the fundamental belief is that payments should not really be restrictive, meaning that it's a customer convenience factor. The customer chooses how they would like to pay, and we as technology providers need to enable it, and that's what our solutions do.
What are the most important criteria that telcos should consider when they're addressing this area?
So I think that's really a critical question because all these capabilities that we discussed and the opportunities that we spoke about fundamentally need to materialize on the ground, and that requires a high degree of scalability. MNOs and CSPs need to be comfortable in the fact that when billions of these transactions across hundreds and millions of customers is loaded onto the system scales, and scales in a way that the overall cost of deployment is relatively low. And that's really what our technology provides. It allows high degree of scalability with transactions that can be handled in a very flexible way.
Atreya, thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Thanks very much. I appreciate the opportunity.